Hello. So, am I audible to all of you? So, just write on the chat box that whether I am audible or not. Hello. Good morning, sir. Audible. Okay. Okay. So right now we have only 36 students. So just wait for 1 minute. And those who are present in the live chat, so just read this problem. So I have shared the link of the problem in a Google Doc itself. So just go through the problem and then I will discuss it. A little ego. Audible. Your voice is going. Uh, just wait a minute. Okay. So I think it would be fine now. Maybe. So is it fine now? I mean, still there is an echo. Hello. Echo. I don't know why it happened with me or only. Still echo. A little echo. Sir, are you using different devices? Uh, so right now, okay. So let me just use the pop-up of the live chat because I'm using the phone also for to look at the chat. Just wait a minute. So I hope let's see whether it's work or not. Okay. So now is there any still echo? Like hello. So manageable. Okay, still echo. Um, Chirag, do you know what's the problem? Because I'm not using any device at all other than laptop. I think someday before this happened also, but somehow it got fixed at that point of time. But I don't know how to fix it right now. Uh, Chirag, am I audible to you? So can you tell me how to fix it? No idea.
यू में कंटिन्यू ओके सर सह लेंगे थोड़ा अच्छा यही था वो बंदा संकल्प शर्मा इसका नाम मुझे नहीं पता था अदरवाइज मैं प्रॉब्लम में इसी का नाम डालता ओके सो लेट्स स्टार्ट ओके सो आई थिंक one student told that Vikram had discussed the first problem so echo gone okay it's fine now okay so there is only one student or mm, so this problem has been discussed or not in the previous classes so the first problem has been discussed or not okay so discussed so just go through the second problem okay because I don't know whether it discussed or not but you guys are okay so just go through the second problem and the link of the second problem is given on the Google Doc itself this so let me copy paste on the chat box also okay so I have shared the link of the problem in the Google Doc sorry in the chat box so you can also refer it. Okay, eco gone, fixed miracle. Yeah, I don't know because uh, I don't know how it happens and how it got fixed automatically. Okay, so just go through the second problem, and if you have any idea how to solve it, then just discuss on a chat box, like any kind of idea, not the proper solution. If you are getting any kind of hints, then you also discuss it. So this is the problem. So basically, a tuple ABC is considered to be good if it consists of three prime numbers. Means A and B and C, all three numbers should be prime, and okay, A B and C, such that A is less than B, less than C, और लेस देन इक्वल टू n, मतलब जो भी तीनों नंबर हो वो तीनों n से छोटे हो, एंड all three numbers should be prime, and there is one more condition, A plus B should be equals to C. Okay, then two tuples are considered to be different if there exists at least one position where they are not equal. So there should be a difference between two tuples at least one position. And so the problem is, given a number n, find out the number of good tuples that can be formed from the integer 1 to n. It means that you will be given a number n, and you have to find out all possible tuples, number of tuples that can be formed from the integer 1 to n. Okay, so let me discuss with an example. So so here we have an example. Okay, so let's say we have a number 6. So so for 6 we have number from 1 to 6, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. The problem is, you have to find out the number of tuples A, B, C that can be formed from these many integers, such that A, B, C, all three numbers should be prime, and one more condition, A plus B equals to C. Okay, so you can see from here that 2, 3 and 5. So this is one tuple, 2, 3, 5. So all three numbers are prime, this is prime, this is prime and this is prime, and A plus B equals to C. 2 plus 3 equals to 5. So we have found one tuple. So you have to find out the all possible tuples, number of tuples actually, not the tuple. Okay, so here the answer would be 1. So see, the output for this case is 1. And for 3 it means that you have numbers from 1, 2 and 3. So there is no tuple A, B and C such that all three numbers are prime and A plus B equals to C. So I think the problem is clear to all of you, but if not, then just write on a chat box. I will discuss one again what the problem is. And if you have got the problem correctly, then just take some time and just to think about a solution. Let me see the chat box. It has to be two odd numbers or two and a odd number. Okay, I think we need to find the number of prime less than n first. Alright, sahi hai. Sorry, only odd number and 2 will satisfy. Alright, so I will discuss it. So it's good, like you are thinking something. It's fine. Problem is clear, Arijit. Okay, so just take some time and to just think about the solution, like what could be the approach or any kind of hint maybe. We will find all prime up to n, and then we will check for two prime numbers with differ of 2 prime numbers with difference of 2. Okay, it's correct. Nityam, it's correct. Okay, so how many students are there right now? It's not visible to me here. So can anybody write on a chat box like how many students are live right now? 78. Okay, it's fine. Okay, okay. So just look. So take 2 more minutes to think about the solution. Yeah, and one more thing. Some students have doubt uh, who are from another branch, like whether they should be doing coding or not. Because some students are from fuel branch and metallurgy branch. So let me tell you one thing, that there are some companies who visit our college who is open for all, like any student from any branch can apply. So it's not like only CSC students are allowed to do coding. Anyone can do if you are interested enough. So don't think like I'm from metallurgy, I'm from metallurgy branch or mining branch, so there is no need to do coding. So it's up to you. I mean, if you are interested, then you should do, because there are so many companies who is open for all the branches, like Goldman Sachs and even Microsoft. Yeah, Goldman Sachs is open for all. Goldman Sachs, Standard Chartered Bank, and I don't remember all the companies name, but there are so many companies who is open for all. That's why it. So I would recommend to do coding at least for first and second year. After second year, if after second year, if you're thinking that yeah, coding is not, I can't do coding more, then it's up to you. But I think I would recommend that at least you should do coding in first year and second year. After that, decide that whether you should continue coding or not. Yeah. So by the way, I don't know all companies name. Maybe Deutsche Bank, but I don't know about it. But Goldman Sachs, Standard Chartered Bank are open for all. Okay. So let me tell you the name of some companies. I don't remember, but I have some, because one student asked on a Telegram group that whether I should continue or not. That's why. So I thought that I should tell at least in a live class. So like Goldman Sachs, Walmart Lab, Standard Chartered. So these are some companies who is open for all. So okay. So I think I should discuss the problem now. Okay. So should I discuss or should I give some time more? Should I discuss it now? Sir, I am trying to log into Coursera. What would be the language? C++, 14 or 17? It's not much problem. You can even use any one, C++, 14 or 17. It's up to you. But I would recommend to use C++ 17, because there are some feature who is not present in C++ 14. But there are very little feature who is not present in C++ 14. You can use any one of them. Okay, 2 minutes time please. Okay, so I'm giving you last 2 minutes. Mayank, okay sir. Okay. uh, so, and if and you should give the contest on CodeSafe at Coder also, because this problem has been asked in the last contest, uh, January cook-off. I think when it held, I think 2 or 3 days ago. Uh, Let me see. I don't remember when it happened. So this contest held on January cook-off on 24th of January. It means 6 days ago. So this is a recent contest. So you should participate in this contest. January cook-off. I mean cook-off, lunchtime, long challenges on CodeChef. Okay. So this was the first problem on div 2. I think I should discuss now. It's enough time I have given you. Okay. So the problem is a tuple. You have to find out all. Sorry. you have to find out the number of tuples possible that can be formed from integer 1 to n, and all the three numbers should be prime, and one more condition, a plus b equals to c. Okay, so just see some points. So let me write on a Google Doc. Google Doc. Yeah. Okay. So some points. So you have to find out a tuple a, b, and c such that a comma b comma c all three numbers are prime numbers. All three numbers are prime numbers, and a plus b equals to c. Okay, you know, so we have all except 2. So first point is that except 2, all the numbers, all the prime numbers are odd. Okay, and one more thing, prime odd plus odd equals to even. You know, your all three numbers should be prime. It means that and one more condition, a plus b equals to c. So odd plus odd is equal to odd, equals to even, is not equal to even, not equal to even. It means that on a left hand side you must have to put at least one even number. So even plus odd equals to odd. So we have the smallest prime number, that is 2, which is even, and this is the only prime number that is even. And if you are putting two odd number on a left hand side, two odd prime number on a left hand side, so this would become even, and even is not equals to odd. So you have to put at least even number, at least one even, one even number on the left hand side, such that this condition would hold, like odd equals to odd. I don't think so let me explain it once again what I did here. So basically you have to find out the number of tuples a, b, and c such that a, b, c and all three numbers are prime number, and a plus b equals to 3. Okay, so let me explain it like this. If all a comma b comma c are odd prime, okay, or odd prime, then for a plus b equals to c, we would be having odd plus odd equals to odd, and this is not possible. So that's why we must have to put one even prime number on on LHS. Okay, and there is only one prime number, so it means that you have to put only 2 here. So 2 plus b equals to c, and so it means that that is a equals to 2. The value of a is fixed basically. I think it is clear to all of you maybe, so just write on a chat box that whether it is clear to you or not. Okay, 2-minute time please. Clear sir. Okay, so basically what I did here, so if a, b, c all three numbers should be prime, and if you are taking all three numbers are odd prime, then odd plus odd equals to odd, and this is not possible because odd plus odd become even, and even is not equals to odd. It means that you have to put at least one even number on a left hand side, and there is only one even number possible, that is 2. It means that the value of a is fixed, that is 2. And now just play with numbers b and c. Okay, clear sir? Okay, so let me code it now. Okay, so basically what so and by the way, how to solve it, I think I didn't ask it, like, okay, so you got the approach here, but how to proceed next? You know that the value of a is fixed, and now you have to play with only two numbers, that is b and c. But how to solve this problem basically? So you will be given a number n, and you have to find out all the number of tuples. Look for co-prime. Not exactly co-prime. Prime with difference equals to 2. Yeah, now it's correct. Prime with difference equals to 2. We can make a vector of prime numbers. Yeah, so we have to solve this problem using sieve, because we have to check for all the numbers from 1 to n. So it means that we have to check that whether all the numbers from 1 to n is prime or not, and to know, we would have to use sieve of Eratosthenesis in the last class that we have discussed. Okay, so how we do it? So first of all, we declared a variable, that is bool is prime. Okay, so I will write quite fast because we have discussed in the last class. So let me const int max equals to 2e5. Okay, so just look at the constraint. So this is the way to solve the problem on a platform. Like, first go through the constraint. So the number up to 10 to the power 6. Okay, so max would be 10 to the power 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we have declared now max plus 1, and for in, okay, so let me use memset here. Memset is prime. So I will discuss some new thing also during coding, is prime. So I have first of all declared all the numbers as a prime number, true, comma, size of. So this is the syntax basically, size of is prime. So today I am teaching quite slow because some of you are not getting me properly, that's why. Okay, so just keep patience. So and after that, is prime of 0 is not prime, so keep it false. 1 is not prime, keep it false. And then for int I equals to 2, comma, I multiplication with I less than or equal to max, comma, I plus plus. So you can just refer the code of the last class which we have discussed. And if is prime of I, then for if is prime of I equals to true, then for int j equals to I into I, comma, j is less than or equal to max, comma, j plus equals to I, is prime of j equals to false. Okay, so now we have created a sieve, numbers from 1 to max, and we have written the code that whether the number is prime or not using sieve. And after that, you would be taking a number n, c in n, then okay, after that, for let's say int answer equals to 0, for int I equals to, okay, so let me write like this: if n is less than or equals to 3, then cout 0. You will not get any kind of tuple. Else part, else for int let's say we have defined a answer, int answer equals to 0, for int I equals to 4, comma I less than or equals to n comma I plus plus, then so just look here. Where? Yeah, yeah, so here, so we have fixed one number, that is 2, and now you have to play with these two numbers. So these numbers should be prime number, b and c, all these two numbers should be prime, and their difference should be equals to 2. It means that b equals to c minus 2, otherwise it's fine, like c equals to b plus 2 also is correct. So if is prime, so let's say we have write like this. So this is your number, for example c. uh, so we can use the variable name accordingly. So let's say we have taken a number c. So is prime of c, so your c should be prime. If it is prime, then if is prime of, then what would be the value of b? So b would be c minus 2 from here. So look here, so basically b equals to c minus 2. Yeah, so b equals to c minus 2. So b equals to c minus 2, and this should also be a prime number. And if is prime of b, then answer plus plus. So this is your code, see out answer. I think it's clear, maybe. So this is your code basically. So first of all, we have created a sieve from 1 to n, that whether the number is prime or not. After that, we have taken a input c in n, and then if the number is less than 3, so just see out 0, and otherwise we have declared a variable, that is answer equals to 0, and we have gone, yeah, and we are taking each value of c. For example, c equals to 4, then 5, then 6, up to n, and this number should be prime because a, b, c, all three numbers are prime. So if the number c is prime number, then what would be the value of b? B would be c minus 2, and if is prime of b, I mean b is also a prime number, then answer plus plus, and finally see out answer. Okay, so let me write c here. This condition in last statement. Sir, please explain constant memset. Okay, so basically confident, so this is a constant variable. I mean, so if you are not writing max here, okay, so if you are writing here only int max equals to this, it means that you can change the value of max after that. I mean, you can alter the value, like for example, initially it was 10 to the power 6, so I may change it 10 to the power let's say 1000. So okay, so we have right to change it, but if you are writing here const, then you can't change it after that. Means after initializing, the value of max is fixed, that is 10 to the power 6, and you can't change it after this line. So if you are writing here like max equals to 10, max equals to 1000 for example, so it will show you error because you can't change it once it initialized. So this is the definition of const variable, and memset is basically a function which which is used to give the initial value to the array. You can also do like this. So let's say so let me comment it. So this for int I equals to 0, I less than or equal to max, comma I plus plus is prime of I equals to true. Okay, so this is the both line is exactly same. So you can do like this also, for int I equals to 0, I less than max, I plus plus. So this would be I less than or equals to max. So just give the initial value to all the elements of the array to true value. Okay, so let me see. Sir, after n is less than or equal to 3, where is the bracket? I think I have told you, like if we have only one instruction, so there is no need to write bracket, but let me write the bracket also here. So it's up to you. I mean, you can also write bracket also, it's fine. Sir, could you please explain that part once more? Sir, could you please explain that part once more? Which part? So how many? Means for how many of you the solution is clear? Just write on a chat box. I want to see that how many of you got the solution. Omkar, Mayank, Saurabh, clear. Got it, sir. Clear, sir. Okay, it's fine. So let me clear some doubts in last if part. So basically we have first taken the c value, c from 4 to n, and this number should be prime. So we have checked that whether the number c is prime or not. If this is prime, then what will be the value of b? The value of b would be c minus 2 from here. So 2 plus b equals to c. It means that b equals to c minus 2. So I did exactly same thing. The value of b is c minus 2. If this is also a prime number, so this is also equals to true. Then if this is true, then just increment your answers. So we have found a tuple. Sir, please explain why should be given each as true at the start. I think when Bikram had discussed Siva-Viratostenesis, then he had discussed all these things. So I am not going to explain it once again. So basically this is initially I have assumed that all the numbers are prime, and after that I have using contradiction I have removed some of the numbers which is not prime, but we have initially assumed that that was prime. So all these things had been discussed in the last class. Sir और n को 5 से start क्यों नहीं किए? It's up to you. I mean, because we have taken the cases from n is less than 3. So if the number is greater than 3, that is 4, 5, 6. So just start from here. You can also do like this. If the number is from 4 and this is from 5, because from number 1 to 4 also the answer is 0. Omkar Singh. And okay, so I think it's clear to all of you. But there is one more twist here. But actual problem I think you have read here, like there would be q queries. So C input. So there would be t number of test cases. I mean for each test case you would be giving a number n. Okay. So can you guys tell me what is the time complexity right now? What is the time complexity of this code? What is the time complexity of this code? So today we will discuss some problems only, because some of you are not able to solve some problem. That's why we are discussing the problem very slowly. So I'm going through each and every aspect. That's why it's taking time. Okay, because some of you know how to solve these problems, so maybe for you it's maybe kind of boring, but I have to take care of each and every student. That's why I'm discussing very slowly today. So this is the way how to proceed the problem on platforms like CodeCef, Codeforces, AtCoder, like this. Don't like in order of 10 to the power 6, write in terms of n. So let's assume that this is n. So this max and this n is same. So just write in terms of n. I think you forgot the time complexity of Siva-Viratostenesis is and log of log n. So the time complexity of Siva-Viratostenesis is as and log of log n. Don't do like this. I mean, you should recall these things. So the time complexity of this code is order of n log of log n, and for this code order of n. So overall time complexity is still order of n log of log n, because this is more than order of n. For this code the time complexity is order of n, and for this code the time complexity is order of n log of log n. Okay, and this is more than order of n. So the overall time complexity is this. On why square root of n? Okay, n log of log square root of n. Okay, it's fine, because log of square root of n basically log of sqrt of n is basically equals to 1/2 of log of n. So I have told you, like, the constant part doesn't matter, so log of square root of n is still equals to log of n in, in time complexity analysis. So square root of n basically n to the power 1 by 2, so log n to the power 1 by 2, take 1 by 2 on a left hand side, so 1 by 2 log of n, so it's still log of n, so constant part doesn't matter here. Okay, but it's correct. I mean, the actual time complexity is n log of log square root of n, but it's fine to write just like this because constant part doesn't matter here. Okay, now, but the problem is that you have to solve the same problem for for q number of queries. So let's see here. So you have to solve exactly same problem for t number of test cases. So if you are doing like this, then, so for example, let's say we have taken a number in t, c in t, then for int I equals to 1, I less than or equal to t comma I plus plus, and we are doing exactly same process for t number of times. Okay, so but now the time complexity become t times t into n. Now the time complexity is order of t multiplication with n. Okay, because for this code the time complexity is order of n, and you are doing the same process for t number of times, so the inverse case time complexity is t into n. And just look at the constraint, t is up to 10 to the power 5, n is up to 10 to the power 5, so t into n is 10 to the power 11, and 10 to the power 11 is more than 10 to the power 8, so it will show you TLE. So let me show you how it show you TLE basically. And those who don't want to listen it, so just find out any solution to how to solve in less time complexity. What's the problem? Okay, so this is capital P. Is prime capital P. Okay. Capital P, capital P, capital P, capital P. Yeah. So let me just take these test cases 2, 3 and 6. Your output should be 0 and 1. So let's see what is the output. So for 3, so see, for 3 the output is 0, and for 6 the output is 1. Okay, so let me submit it, and let's see what is the verdict here. So this is the way to how to submit it. So this is the problem. So this is the button to submit your code. Just click here, and this is your and here you can select your language. Like if you are writing in Java, then you can select Java, Python, C Sharp, C++ 17 and C++ 14. So right now I am using C++ 14, and remove everything and just paste your code. So this is my code, and this is the button to submit it. So let's see whether it got accepted or it is showing TLE. So TLE basically time limit exceeded. I mean the time which is given. So see, your verdict is time limit exceeded. Your execution time is more than 1 second, and this should be less than 1 second. So this is the problem. So this is time limit exceeded. Okay. So even though my solution is correct, but my time complexity is order of t into n. So try to reduce it. Okay. Okay. So should I discuss the final solution, or should I give 1 or 2 minutes more? So can anybody write that whether I should discuss or should I wait for 1 or 2 minutes? Hello, am I audible? Okay, so give some more time. So okay, so I am giving you some more time. Don't worry. Hmm. So right now my solution is absolutely correct, but the problem is that the time complexity is order of t into n. How to reduce it? Just think about it. How to reduce it? What about others? Like only Mayank says wait sir, because I have to take care of majority. Like if most of you are able to solve it, then I should start discussing it. I will not wait for one or two students. Okay. So what about others? Like should I wait or should I discuss now? Wait. Okay. Sir, we can use and operator in if loop. Yeah, you can use. You can use if is prime c is equal to 2 and is prime of c minus 2 equals to 2. It's correct. You can use. It's fine. Wait sir, wait sir. Okay, so I am waiting. So let me see some. Sir, if in the last for loop we increase the value of c by 2 in each iteration, will it work? uh, Sir, in the last for loop if we increase c by 2 in each case, will it work? But the time complexity is still order of 10 to n, because you have to go t number of test cases. So your t is at least your t is fixed. Now you have to reduce this part, that whether you are checking in an order of n time complexity, try to reduce this part, because t is your constant. You have to go through all t number of test cases. So try to reduce this part, remove this part basically, then only it would be accepted, otherwise it will show TLE. We can pre-compute the number of tuples for each n. Yeah, Akash Mittal, it's absolutely correct. So somehow if you are able to calculate that number of tuples for all three numbers, so just you have to print the number, just see out tuple of tuple of tuples of n. So if somehow if you are able to calculate this tuple value for all the numbers, so you don't need to go through this part. So let me first of all write this code on Google Doc, then I will remove it. Okay. So this is your code. This is the okay, new solution. So this is a now what I did here. So if somehow you pre-computed this tuple value, so just you have to print that the number. So right now so in this case your time complexity is order of t, because this operation would take order of constant time. So now the problem is to find this value tuples of n. I think I should discuss now. I have given sufficient time. So so how can you do here? So for so let's see some points. The point is that, so let's say we have taken 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 dot 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 I plus 1 I plus I minus 1 I plus 1, then dot 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 dot, and okay. So let's say we have computed let's look like this, n minus 1 comma n. Okay, so let's assume that we have computed from 1 till n minus 1 the tuple value of from 1 to 1 till n minus 1, and now I want to calculate the value of tuple of n. So you can see like this: tuples of n will be tuples of n minus 1, I mean the answer which you know the number of tuples which can be formed from the number 1 to n minus 1 plus 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 the the tuple formed by using n. Your tuples of n, I mean the number of so let me write the definition of tuple basically. First of all, tuple of I, so basically this represent all possible tuples using number numbers 1 comma 2 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma dot 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 and I basically. So your tuple of I basically represent all possible number of tuples using 1 to I, and okay, so tuple of n, I mean the number of possible tuples using the number 1 till n equals to number of possible tuples using number 1 till n minus 1 plus there is one more tuple that can be formed using that number n. So this is basically whether it is true or not. So is it clear or not, this this analysis, whether this analysis is clear or not? This is the most important part here. Yes sir, clear. Sir, tuple is inbuilt. Basically this is the definition of the problem, like this is not inbuilt kind of tuple. Clear sir. So right now we have 70 students, but I don't know why all of you don't interact in a chat box. Sir, can you explain once again? Okay, let me explain once again. So basically, first of all, I have created a vector of tuples, vector of integer. The name of the vector is tuples, and your size would be max plus 1. Okay, after that we have initialized the definition. So this is basically the definition of tuple. That tuple of I is all possible numbers all possible tuples using numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 up to I. Okay, so this is your definition, and this is the requirement of the problem. You have to find out the number of tuples that can be from using the number 1 to n. And this is one more point. So for example, you want to calculate the all possible tuple for n numbers. So let's assume that we have calculated till n minus 1, and now I want to calculate the value of tuple value of n. So your tuple value of n, it means that all possible tuples using number 1 to n. So this is equals to all possible tuples using number n minus 1 plus that tuple which can be formed using that number. Because so let me show with an example. Okay, so for example, you so you have calculated for 5, your answer would be 2 comma 3 comma 5. Okay, so all three numbers are prime, and the sum of first two number is 5. So 2 plus 3 equals to 5. So this is correct. So let's say you want to calculate for 6. So for 6, this is a one possible solution, because for 6, I mean from 1 to 6, this is one possible solution plus is it possible to get one tuple using 6? Okay, so for 6 you have your answer of 5 is stored here. So this is one possible solution plus check one more extra condition, that whether is it possible to get one more tuple using that number 6. So this would be either true or false, but this is a stored value. I think it is clear now. I have explained enough. So this ab o I don't know what's your real name. So can you just write that whether you got it or not? I think so. I think most of you had cleared it. Okay, so it is clear. Clear, sir. Okay, so let me write the final code here. So let me copy this part. So let me copy this part and you know paste here. Just wait a minute. So this is your theory part. Okay, so I will so I have removed here. So your tuple value of 0 equals to just wait a minute. Your tuple value of 0 equals to this, equals to this, equals to this. So tuple value of 0 1 0 1 2 and 3, this is equals to 0, and for int I equals to 4 comma I less than or equal to n, this is your max, basically max comma I plus plus tuple tuples tuples of I equals to tuples of I minus 1 plus. Now the most important part, now you have to check whether B and C both are prime or not. So let me write like this. So let's say this is your C. So put the relevant name of the variable. So this is your C and your B would be C minus 2. So now plus if is prime of B equals to true and is prime of C is also equals to true. If both are true, then just increment your tuples of I plus plus. Okay, so this is your code basically, and after that we have calculated all the tuple value of from 1 to max, and here I have printed it. Simple. Okay, so just let me run it. What happened? TUPLES I is not declared. Okay, so this is basically C. Yeah, tuple value of if is prime of B equals to 2 and is prime of C equals to 2, then okay, so this would be C tuple of 3 plus plus. Okay, yeah, so let me just go through the given test case. So yeah, so I'm really sorry that I'm explaining it very slow, because I have taken 1 hour time. You know, it is not usual, I don't like to explain that much, but yesterday some student told me, so see the output is 0 and 1, so let me submit it now. So for some of you it's kind of boring maybe, but I have to take care of each and every student, that's why I'm taking so much time today. Okay, so let's see what's the verdict, whether it got accepted or it is still showing TLE. Yeah, so see, now it got accepted, so correct answer. So now the time complexity is order of T. Okay, so finally if you have any doubt, just write on a chat box, otherwise we should proceed further. So now it got accepted here, correct answer. It's the first time ever I am explaining this much. Sir, what language is this? So this is C++ language. Clear, sir? Okay, so I am waiting for a last minute about this problem. So this is basically a very good problem, like not that much easy, but you know, kind of but if you are taking a 2 minute or 5 minute time, then definitely you would be able to solve it, because this part we have discussed in the last class about sieve of Eratosthenesis, and about this part we have, you know, we have to take care of these cases like what the first prime number, that is 2, and so this is basically a thinking part, kind of implementation part. If you do practice on HackerRank, then it would be easy for you to grab these things, but if you're not practicing, then it will take very hard, you know, it's hard to just grab everything at a first glance. So practice as many as possible from HackerRank, CodeChef, because you know you are in first year, so you have so much free time. Sir, this one will have time complexity of max of n comma t. No, not max of n comma t. So basically your sieve part takes time complexity order of n log of log n, and this part would take order of n. So this part would take order of n basically. So let me write here. So this part would take order of n, and this part would take order of t. So basically your overall time complexity is order of max of this and this. But if you see the constant, then you would find that your overall time complexity is order of n log n, because n is t is up to 10 to the power 6, but n log n is more than n mt. So overall time complexity is order of n log n. Paste in Google Doc. Okay, so let's just wait a minute. Overall time complexity equals to order of this. Okay, so just wait a minute, I am pasting it. Yeah. So I will organize all this code after the class is over. Okay, so right now it's showing very randomly, like but after taking the class I will reorganize this each and everything. Okay, so this problem has been discussed now. Vikram, are you here or not? Vikram, are you here? So just wait a minute, I will talk to Vikram that whether he should continue or not from here. I think Vikram is not present here right now. Okay, Vikram hai. Okay, ठीक है. So I will discuss one more problem, and then after that Vikram will continue. So this is basically a HackerRank website, so you can, you know, refer it to solve the problems. So just go to problem solving section, and after that go through some implementation part, and try to solve all the problems on implementation section. Okay. So yesterday I had taken one problem, that is minimum distance. Yeah. So this is the problem. I am sharing the link of that problem in a Google Doc and chat box also. So I have discussed this problem, tuple problem. Okay. So let me first of all write on a chat box. Vikram, I think so it's been 1 hour, so I think you should continue from here. Vikram, I am going to stop the session. Just discuss this problem and whatever you feel like today. Okay. So I am stopping the streaming now.
आवाज आ रही है क्या? एक बार बता दो कोई. Am I audible? कोई एक बार बता दो. ठीक है. So I think Rajan just gave you the question. uh, minimum distances. Okay, so just go through the question once, and uh, uh, if you understand the question, attempt it, or if you don't understand it, just write in the chat box that the question is not clear. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I'll just go through the question once. Okay, um, you're given an array. Okay, let's suppose this is your array given 3 2 1 1 2 3, and you need to find and distance. There's something called distance defined, which is between two array values is the number of indices between them. So let's say you have three at this zeroth index, and at 0 1 2 3 fourth index. Okay, so basically you need to find so distance here is 4 minus 0, that's 4, and here you have 2, uh, that's this is the first index and this is the third index, so 3 minus 1, that's 2. So basically you need to select two pairs from the two elements from the array whose values are equal, and you have to calculate the distance between them, and and you need to find the minimum distance that can be present in the array. Let's say in this you have distance 4 and distance 2, so 2 is the minimum of 2 4, so your answer should be 2. So is this question clear? And these are the constraints given, and n is less than equal to 10 cube, and your ai value is less than equal to 10 raised to power 5. Okay, so just and if there is no such pair, let's say all the elements in an array are suppose different. Let's say 1 2 3 4 5 you have the array, so in that case there is no pair, so in that case you need to return -1. Okay, so is the question clear? So if the question is clear, you can just write your approach in the chat box, uh, like whatever you can think of. Okay, so I think everyone has understood the question, so just write your approach in the chat box. Like how can you solve this? This is normal basic implementation question. Okay, it's very easy. Have a vector of pairs storing number and index, then sort and find the minimum distance. Okay, have a vector of pairs storing number and index. Eh, yeah, I guess that can work. Yeah, that will work. It's cool. So yeah, uh, n log n, so the complexity would be, if you sort it, so that would be n log n. Okay, so yeah, that should work. So there are a lot of ways to solve the question. If anyone has any other approach, they can tell. I'll be basically discussing two approaches in this question. Okay, so anyone else, like he or she can think of something else. Yes, that's yeah, the Shan's approach is one approach. uh, Other approaches, look through the array for each element. Yeah, that can be done in this case because your n is less than 10 cube, so that means n square would work, because n square would be 10 is to the power 6, which is very much less than 10 is to the power 8. So yes, that will work. So I guess that's the most basic solution anyone can. I think everyone will understand that you can, for 3 you can iterate in the array, and if you find another 3 you can just take the minimum. So yeah, that's cool. Nested loop, yes, that's basic approach. So I'll just so okay. So anyone has any doubt in this n square solution, like whatever Mayank and Aman have written, nested loop? Like for each element you can check all the other elements, and wherever the value of both the elements are same, you can just take the minimum with the answer, like answer you have seen so far and with the current pair. Basically it is like you are iterating through all the possible pairs, like you will iterate to three basically. So you will iterate with okay, I'll just code it. Okay, just wait a second. You can sort it and then find a distance. Yes, you can do that as well. uh, that was the approach of Shreyansh. That would be n log n. So first I'll discuss the n scale solution, and I'll come to the more optimized solution later. So what's the input? So your input is, you have integer n, that's the size of array, and you have the array. Okay, so that, okay, that's the array. Let's say our initial answer is int max. Okay, or you can take it to be n plus 1. That's fine, because your answer would always be less than n actually. Because let's say you have a pair, they have one pair only in the array, that's at the 0th index and the n minus 1th index, so their difference is n minus 1. So your answer cannot be greater than n minus 1. So you can assume it to in the initial array to be n plus 1. Okay, so what we'll do is we will iterate through all the elements, and for each element we will iterate through the all the elements, and if we find that your ai is equal to array j, that means this is one valid pair. And in this I have assumed j would always be greater than I, because in this case I'm initializing j with the I plus 1, so j would always, for a particular value of I, j would always be greater than I. Okay, so you can find something as minimum of answer comma j minus I. Okay, and finally you can print the value of I answer. So is the approach clear? I think it's pretty basic solution. Just write yes or no. Okay, fine. Just 2 students. What about others? Okay. Is min inbuilt? Yes, we discussed about minimum and max. Min is an inbuilt function. Uh, yeah. So for first loop, I n minus 1 now. You can do that because if you can also put n minus 1 here, but that won't matter because if you let's say your I is n minus 1, so in that case j would become n minus 1 plus 1, that's n. So it would be, this condition would become false on the first iteration itself, so this loop won't run for even once for I equal to n minus 1. So doesn't matter, you can do n minus 1 also, you can do n also, time complexity won't be affected. So I think everyone has understood this. Okay, so let's say uh, you are given okay, someone has written a solution. If I equal to j, push back. Yeah, basically that's the same thing. Okay, if I forgot one thing, you can do the answer can also be minus 1. So if your answer is equal to n plus 1, that means you've not found any pair, so you can print minus 1, else you can print the answer. Okay, so forward that case. Fine. So this is the code, and for the given constraints, like your n is less than equal to 10 cube and your AI is less than equal to 10 raised to the power 5, this will work. There's no doubt in that. Okay, but let's say your n is uh, so just copy this code. Okay, so let's say I'll copy this code to the top. Okay, fine. So say here is the solution. Oh, fine. Okay, so this is the basic solution, and time complexity for this code is order of n to n. So that's n square. Fine. So let's say, so if I submit this code in this, it would work, I think. Okay, submit code. Yeah, so that works fine. So let's say, okay, this question you can do in n square, fine, there's no problem. But let's say I ask you the same question and your n is less than equal to 10 raised to the power 6 instead of 10 cube. So as you can see, let's say right here, our n is 1 is less than n is less than equal to 10 raised to the power 6. Let's say this is the condition, and for AI you have the same condition, like 1 is less than equal to AI is less than equal to 10 raised to the power 5, let's say. So now these are the new constraints for the same question. So do you think that this approach will work? No. Yeah, because now if you do an n square solution, your n is in the worst case equal to 10 raised to the power 6, and 10 raised to the power 6 into 10 raised to the power 6, that's 10 raised to the power 12, that's greater than 10 raised to the power 8. So now in this case the solution won't work. Okay, so, yeah, it will give you a daily. Okay, so just try to optimize the same question, like this code. I think I got one solution as in above. I think Shiansh gave the solution that you can sort it and you can, you know, uh, get as n log n solution. So n log n in this case will work. That's fine, because 10 is by 6 into log of 10 is by 6, that would work. That's fine. But Shans, try to do it in order of n. Okay, right. Try to do this question in order of n, like just one loop. That is possible. You can do it. So just try it once. Okay. Tell it you want to resubmit it once by yourself. Yes, all of you, just do this question once on your own. Okay. Whoever has problems with if else for loops and all those things, so after the class just try to submit the question on your own. Okay, because it's all about practice, like uh, how how much you're comfortable with coding and typing, so that will help. That will also improve your typing speed, and after a certain point, typing speed also, is helpful in improving your rating at Codeforces and CodeChef, because you have to submit the code faster. So that will help. Count the frequency of every element and check for only element whose frequency is more than 1. Okay, let's say, so in that case also, your complexity would be n square. Let's say you have n elements, and let's say you have n by 2 elements, each of frequency 2. So that in that case, n by 2, you will have to check for n by 2 elements. So n by 2 into n by 2, that would be n square by 4. So in that case, it's still order of n square. You can ignore the 1 by 4 factor. So that would still not get accepted. But you actually thought in the right direction. There is something you need to do with storing the not frequency, actually storing the indexes. Okay, so that's an approach in the right direction. Just think a little bit more. Okay, so anyone else, like, vector can be created to store index. Vector. Yeah, you need to store index, but a vector won't be needed. Okay, so yeah, I'll tell you what. Actually, you are partially correct. Like, you need to store the indexes, but vector, and no, that won't be needed. Can we use pair and sort the index and vector? Yes, you can do that, but in that case, the complexity would be n log n. Okay, so I need an n solution. Guys, I've shared this code on docs. Yes, I have already shared, Rajan. Okay, so just see what you can do here. Just like this. Okay, and I'll create a map. Okay, so what this map signifies is uh, m of I is the index of value I encountered so far. Okay, so what that means is, like, if you go to the uh, given test case, okay, so initially map would be empty. Okay, so you'll iterate through I. Okay, you'll get at I, and you will see that whether you have an I, or you have a 3 already available in the map or not. Okay, so if you don't have any 3 available in the map, that means this is the first 3 encountered in this array from the left hand side, right? So you will push the so you will make m of 3 equal to 0. Basically the in that you have an element 3. Okay, so m of 3 would become 0. So next you'll go to the second element. Now at the at the element 2, you will find you'll check whether you have a 2 in the array on the right left side or not, like you have encountered a 2 or not. So you don't have any 2. This is the first 2 from the left hand side. So the pair with this element and a 2 on right hand side does not on left hand side does not exist, because there is no 2 on the left hand side. So again you will make the value m of 2 equal to 1. Basically that means that you have a 2 at index 1. Okay, so similarly you go to 1 and you don't have any 1 on the left hand side. So again you will make m of 1 equal to 2. So basically that means that you have 1 at index 2. Then when you go to this 2, okay, when you go to this 2, you if you will check in the map, you will find that you already have a 2. So that means that is a pair. So basically 0 1 2 3. So 3 minus m of 2, m of 2 was 1, so that will give you 2. So you can take the minimum with the answer. And similarly when you go to 3, you'll see if there is a 3 on the left hand side or not. So in that case, yes, you have a 3 at 0th index. So you'll get 4 minus 0 equal to 4, and you'll take the minimum with the answer, but answer was already 2, so answer won't be updated again. So after you so doing this, you'll get um, the answer to be 2 after you have processed all the elements. So is this clear? Like this is an approach you can use in a lot of questions. Like you store something in a map and then you keep processing it until you encounter the same element or something like this. So this approach is used a lot of times. Okay, so is this clear? Let's write yes or no. So we were storing the indexes, but not in a vector of vector. Just to have written yes. If you don't understand it, you can just write it not understood. You can explain again, because we're getting a lot of DMs that said the pace of class is going too fast. It's only the students who have an experience in programming they can cope up, others cannot. So if you don't write no, then how can we see whether you have understood or not? Like if only the people who are writing yes, they keep on writing, so we'll assume that you all are getting all the things. So we'll obviously not decrease our pace, because we will assume that everyone has understood it. So everyone has understood it. So let's see the code also. Okay, so initially your map was empty when you created it, and just make just iterate through elements. Okay, first check if m dot find of ai is equal, okay, just a second, is is equal to m dot n. So this is how you can check whether an element is present in the map or not. Okay, so if it is not present, then you just have to make m of ai equal to I and continue. That so continue, I think everyone knows what a continue is. So if this condition gets executed, so after continue, so no code which I write here would be executed, because if you encounter a continue in a for loop, that means just skip all the statements ahead of it and move for the next iteration. So after this it will directly jump here, it won't execute whatever I will write where my cursor is pointing. Okay, You can, if you don't want to write a content, you can even write an else. Okay, so that's the same thing. So if your AI is already present in the map, that means your answer can be updated. Minimum of answer, comma, I. So I minus of R, say M of AI. Okay, and say uh, okay. Okay, so is this clear? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so just clear. Then no one pointed out that there is an error in this case. Like I have deliberately, made an error here. So can explain again. Okay. So basically the approach is uh, you will iterate through the elements. Let's say you are on the ith element. Okay. So you will see whether you have encountered the ith element, like the value ai, on the left hand side of the on the left hand side of I or not. That means uh, let's see, I'll explain it here. Let's say you have uh, let's say you are on current element. Let's say your current element is the ith index. Okay, you're currently on ith index. Okay, so you will have to check whether you have encountered the value ai from 0th index to I minus 1 index or not. So that's what we are basically storing in the map, is the index of value I encountered so far. If you okay, so basically so map में value store करना होगा ना, is it n because it is pointing to n plus. Okay, just wait a second, I'll explain the approach again. uh, So basically you need to check for the current value I, that's ai, that whether it existed in the sub array from 0th index to the I minus 1th index. Okay, so that's what we are checking in this if. So this basically what it does is, if m dot find, let's say this basically returns an iterator. Okay, so if that iterator is equal to m dot n, so m dot n you have already seen in iterators that if m dot n is the last iterator and that's not a value in the map, that is basically the last iterator. I think that has pretty much been explained to you, that m dot n does not point to an value. It is just the null iterator basically. Okay, so in that case, like this basically means is this ai is the first value encountered. Let's say if you consider the example for this 3, uh, let's say you don't have a 3 on the left hand side of this 3, so this is the first 3 encountered in this array. Same for 2, same for this 2. Okay, you have encountered this 2 for the first time. Okay, there's no 2 on the left hand side. Similarly for this one, but not for this 2 and this 3, because 2 you have already encountered here. So if you do m dot find of a2, m dot find of 2 when you are at this I, you won't get an m dot n. You will get an iterator which will be pointing to this value pair, that m of 2 equal to 1. So that is why at this 2 and similarly for this 3, the if condition won't get true. So this condition won't be true because ai is not the first value, like 2, this 2 is not the first 2 encountered and this 3 is not the first 3 encountered. So this, so in that case you'll just make the pair to this. Okay, else if this condition is not true, then that means you have the value ai, you have already encountered the value ai. So you are storing the index of ai in the map, so just take the difference. Okay, is this clear now, sir? After minimum of answer comma I minus m of ai, do we have to update m of ai to I again? Yes, that's a good question. Basically, let's say that actually, yes, in this question we'll have to do something like this also, because let's say you have an array, something like 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 3, so and 3. So this one, so when you find you are at this one, there is no 1 on the left hand side. When you are at this 2, you are not, there is no 2 on the left hand side. When you are at this 3, you are not on the left hand side, and when you are at this 4, there is no 4 on the left hand side. And then when you are at this I, this I, you have a 3, right? So answer would be answer of I minus ai. So that would be index I, that is 0 1 2 3 4 4 minus 2, so that would give 2. So at that point the answer you will have 2. Okay, and when you are at this I, okay, you have two threes on the left hand side. Now which 3 you need to take, that depends on your question. Like in the question you were asked the minimum value, so minimum, you will get the minimum when you take this 3, right? So that's why you need to update the value of m3 to 4 here. So that's why we are doing this line here, because for this 3 we need the previous one, not the 3 which was encountered earlier. The latest encountered 3 would be stored in the map for this question. And let's say if you had maximum, like you need to find the maximum value, then you just have to remove this statement, because now your 3 would be, now your m of 3 would be 2. So when you do it with this index, you will get the maximum value, that is this difference. So that's why in that case you'll have to remove this value. But in this question we don't have to do it. You have to do it, like you have to put this condition here. Okay. If we calculate the difference between indexes of same values showing the minimum one in answer, we are calculating the difference. Yes, that's exactly what we are doing. Okay, apocalypse. Sir, find function gives pointer of first occurrence only. Well, that depends on like I think I have explained you just now that whatever you see, the map has only one value. Like m of 3 could have only one value, either that would be 1 or that would be 2. It's up to you that how you are storing. If you remove this one, so then you will get the first 3 from the left hand side. But if you do this, you'll get the first 3, you'll get the 3 which is on the left hand side of the ith index and it is closest to I. Basically in this case from these three you have, this is the closest three, not this one, right? So that's the difference between both the cases. Well, that depends on the question, like if you need to find the minimum distance or the maximum distance. Okay, so does anyone have any doubt? Although for the question that was given on HackerRank, you can do it in N-Scare also, that's fine. Okay, so just submit this question after the class. Okay, okay, so let's move to the next question. Okay, so just look at this question. Okay, uh, so this is the next question, you can try it. Says time complexity of find is log n, or the time complexity would still be log n. Yeah, so what you can do here is, yes, the complexity is n log n, but what you can do is, instead of a map, you can use an int array of, let's say, 1 2 3 4 5, that's 10 raised to power 5 plus 1, because you know that your value, that your AI is between this range. So that's why instead of a map you can use this array, because of you can create an array of 10 raised to power 5. So that's why you can do it using an array. But in that case you will have to remove the find function, and let's say you just initialize it with 0, let's say -1, because 0 can be an index. So at this position you can have, if m of AI is equal to say -1. So that's, in that case you will have, you can do this. So just the initial condition would, the checking condition would change, rest all remains the same. So now the complexity is order of n. So now just try to solve this question. Okay, I'll just post the solution also. uh, okay, let's see. So now the complexity is order of n. Okay, so now let's see this question. So just go through this question, okay, and try to solve the, these all are the questions which you can solve using your already acquired knowledge, right? There is no whatever we have taught you in class, you can use that to solve the question. There is nothing new in this. We're just going through the topics which we have already taught you, because there were some people who were saying that um, the pace of the class is a little bit faster. Okay, okay. Just go at the doc link which is given in the description box. You can just get the question link there. Okay, so actually that's a um, group question which we gave to your second year when we were teaching them. So I'll just copy the question. Okay. Okay. Just tell the constraints as well. Alright. So now you can see the question on the doc link. It's actually 10 raised to power 5. Okay, so just go through the question once. Okay, so we all know that prime numbers are positive integers that have exactly two distinct positive divisors, that is 1 and the number itself. So, okay, so let's similarly define a positive integer t as t prime if t has exactly three distinct positive divisors. So instead of two divisors, you have a number which should have exactly three distinct divisors. Okay, so basically that would be like one would be the number itself and one divisor would be 1 and it must have one more divisor. Let's say for example 4. Example is 4. So 4 has three divisors, that's 1, 2 and 4. Right, okay, so you have exactly three divisors, so 4 is a t prime. Okay, so and you are given an array of n positive integers. You have n positive integers and for each of them you have to write whether you have to tell whether the number is t prime or not. That means it has exactly three divisors or not. So these are the constraints given. N is less than equal to 10 is to power 5 and your x is less than equal to 10 is to power 12. Okay, so and the question must be pretty clear, so just try to solve it, and if you uh, get it, then just write your approach or your code in the number t prime will be a perfect square. Okay, let's say you have the number 16. So 16 is a perfect square, but it has a lot of factors 1, 2, 4, 8 and 16. So that's not correct. T prime will be a square of a prime number. Yeah, that's odd number perfect square. Uh, Not that. Nityam is right. T prime will be a square of a prime number, basically. Yeah, that's correct. If you just try for a couple of numbers, you can check whether that, let's say 9, you have 9. So you have 1, 3, and 9, right? And you have 16. So 16 is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. So this is not a T prime. It has 5 factors. So not all perfect squares would be t prime, and let's say 25. So 1, 5, 25. So from this and from these you can have an idea that the number would be a perfect square of a prime number, because in that case, so that way it will have three divisors. One would be the number itself, one would be 1, and one would be that prime number of which it is a perfect square. So I think, so is it uh, clear to everyone that the number would be t prime if it is a perfect square of a prime number? Okay, so just try to implement this, uh, keeping in mind the constraints, how you can implement it. Just, I think the approach is clear to everyone. Just try to implement the code. So has anyone thought of anything? You can write in the chat box. Using the C1, storing the squares, then looping to check if a number is t prime or not. Okay. Yes, that's correct. Okay. So let's see the code. So now you know your given number is less than equal to 10 raised to power 12. Okay. So that means its square root would be less than equal to 10 raised to power 6, and that number should be prime for a t prime. So if you find all the primes till 10 raised to power 6, and if you know uh, uh, if you find all the prime numbers till 10 raised to power 6, so their square will give you all the numbers that are t prime up till 10 raised to power 12. Okay, so I think that should be clear. Let's make a bool prime. Okay, Ceef basically 5 6, and let's initialize it to okay, and we can just store that the number is prime initially. Okay, and uh, so we'll apply the C is then equal to 1 e6. I think this is pretty much clear to everyone by now. uh, if prime I uh, is equal to I, and prime of j should be 0, right? So now you can store the t primes in a map. Actually, I would prefer to store it in a array and then do binary search, but you don't know binary search, so we'll just store the t primes in a map, so that you can access the t primes in order of log n. Okay, so for int I equal to 2, I less than equal to 1 e6, if your current number is prime, then you can store it. So that means its square is a t prime, so that means m of x, let's just equate it to 1, because we don't need to map it to something, we just need to check whether it is present in the map or not. Okay, so now this is basically the pre-computation part that which you need to do before starting the actual question. So now we'll take the input and we'll have n elements. Okay, let's take the input. Okay, now for each, so now go through the each of the element, and if your m dot find is m dot find of ai is not equal to m dot end, so that what that means is that it is present in the map. Like if you do it equal to m dot end, that means it is not present, and now you're checking that if it is present in map or not. So not equal to means if this condition is true, that means ai is present in the map. So just print yes, and else Yeah, no. Okay. Okay. So this is the code. Just run it, and uh, let's say the input was, let's say take the same input. So you have yes, no, and no. 5 is a prime number. 6 is has 4 divisors. 4 has just 3 divisors, 1, 2, 4. So it's working perfectly. So does anyone have any doubt in this? Basically, the initial part is calculating the sieve till 10 raised to power 6 and storing all the t primes in a map. I'd personally prefer a vector or an array, but in that case you'll have to do a binary search, and you don't know binary search yet, so you can store it in a map. Basically, the objective is that you have to access the t primes in order of log n. So that's how you can do it. Sir, how many key value pairs can be stored in a map? So there's a function, I think, that max value of something, like which tells you how many values you can store in a map. But in this case, your maximum, you are looping from 2 to n is to power 6, right? So let's say all the numbers are prime. Let's say I am making a pair for each value from 2 to 10 is to power 6. So in this case, uh, your map, so m dot size would return you 10 is to power 6, right? So 10 is to power 6 is well enough. You can have 10 is to power 6 pairs of key value in the map, so there is no problem in that. Otherwise, if you want to check how many map value pairs you can make, so there is a function, I don't remember it because I never needed it, so you can check by that. But basically you're working till 10 is to power 6, so till that you can create a map very easily, so there's no problem. So will you please repeat the last loop? Okay, so in the last loop we are simply checking that if that current element ai is present in the map or not. Now according to definition, we have created a map. That means all the x comma 1 pair, we are creating a x comma 1 pair such that x is t prime. Okay, so this is what this is what is the meaning of the map in this question. Okay, so if you don't want to use this find and all this, you can simply do m of ai is equal to 1. So this will also work, because if an element is not present in the map, its by default value is 0. If let's say your 5 was not present, because 5 is not a t prime, so m of 5 if you do, so that will return 0 because 5 was not present in the map, so by default its value is 0. But I made it 1 for all the values that are t prime, so you can do something like this as well. So I think now it should be clear. Okay, fine. So रजन एंड करते हैं यार, मतलब 2 बज गए हैं. Okay, so you can leave the classes over, and if you have any doubt you can ask. I'm just copy this code in the doc. Okay, so you can leave the classes over. Okay.